right, here with Lauren Coughlin after a first round at the Founders Cup presented by U.S. Virgin Islands. Lauren, coming off top 5 finish last week into this week with a
Seventh, but that's
seventh.
okay.
Okay, top 10
Close
finish,
enough.
close enough. After last week, just coming in with another great round. How are you feeling after today?
Yeah, really good. It was the first week with the new caddy, so was kind of just trying to get in a really good rhythm, and I felt like we got in a very good rhythm out there last week or this today, so that was kind of fun. Had a good time. I'm friends with Linnea and Nasa and Gregor, Nasa's caddy, so it was just a really nice, fun round.
For the record camera, who's on the back for you this week?
Kurt, he caddied for Allie Ewing the last year and a half, 2 years or so. Yeah.
Yep. What was the vibe out there with him today? Clearly shot 66, good round. So how did he help with that?
Yeah, I think it seemed like we were on on a lot of the same page and picking clubs and picking numbers and stuff in the practice rounds, and so it was nice to kind of see that it happened again out there. But yeah, I mean, I've known Kurt for a while now too, just in passing, and he caddied for me one time in 2023, and we got along really well. So yeah, I think it was more just we had a lot to talk about because we're still kind of getting to know each other, which is always fun. So, which I like to talk a lot out there. So, getting to know him and stuff, we had a lot to chat about.
Perfect. Sarah, Beth Ann, whatever.
Yeah, so you're obviously one of the breakout stars of the 2024 season with the wins, the Solheim Cup, all the things that you did last year. How have you translated that into your confidence on the golf course this season?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just what I'm doing is working in a certain sense, and there's definitely still things that I need to work on and get better, but a lot of what I do in my full swing, I've been able to keep it strong for a really long time, so just not making any changes in the stuff that I was doing really well, but then working on the areas that I need to focus on and try to get better in those areas. But again, not neglecting anything that I do really well. But I didn't have much of an off season, and so I don't think I had too much rust, to be honest. My husband and I bought a townhouse down in Jupiter, and so I spent the last 3 weeks down there. Played a lot of golf. We're good friends with Ollie and Ollie Brett, who caddies for Rose, and Emily Pedersen. So I played a bunch of golf and just kind of was able to kind of keep a lot of things going.
You had a lot of off-the-course opportunities, too, that I know cropped up because you rose so quickly in, those 3 or 4 weeks. What was that like, and how did you have to, mentally kind of keep yourself, or maybe even your expectations in check when you're doing all of these things and people asking you about all the stuff that you did last season?
Yeah, I think I've done a good job of reflecting on it in my own time and trying to reflect and still think back and take a lot of positives on what I did, but also kind of move on in a sense and not get stuck in the past, even though it's all everybody talks to me about. But I think, I think I'm just trying to have fun, as much as fun as I can out there, and can just. It's very cliche, but doing all the things that I do well, that I learned to do really well, which was being in my process, staying in my bubble, doing a lot of that little stuff. But I'm getting asked to do a lot more, so I keep being told, you can say no, and I haven't quite really said no to anything yet, just because most things have made kind of oh yeah, that sounds cool, I can do that. But I'm sure eventually I might see myself starting to say no to some things.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the season?
Yeah, International Crown at Korea is my big one. It just seems I've played in Korea a couple times, and just the thought of doing it in that type of setting seems almost too good to be true. So that's my big one that I'm focusing. Everything I'm doing is kind of going to try to make that team.
Where are you playing in South Florida?
I joined the Dye Preserve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they have a bunch. They probably have 20, 25 PGA, Korn Ferry, some live guys, and then Atha is a member there as well. So.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I know Terry had back surgery. Is there a chance he's coming back?
He hasn't had surgery yet.
Oh, he hasn't? Oh.
No, his back was a lot worse than they initially thought. So hopefully they're supposed to schedule it next week.
Okay.
So he's got to get a fusion more likely than not. And so, I'm hoping that he can come back, but I don't have any real clarity on if he can, when he can yet. I'm hoping once he has the surgery, I'll have a little bit better of idea. Was it successful? How is he recovering? What are they thinking the timetable is going to be? I mean, realistically, probably if he can come back, it won't be probably towards later of the year. But
Yeah.
but again, I kind of didn't really know that until, not to his fault or anything, but he didn't have a contrast MRI until almost close, and he didn't get the results back close to like Christmas. And so at that point, like anybody, I had already been planning on having Kurt do this week and do West Coast, and then Ollie's going to caddy for me in Asia because Rose isn't playing. But after that, I hadn't really thought much of it, and so I'm kind of just waiting to see when he's going to actually get the surgery, and was really testing, just seeing if I liked Kurt, if we jived well, if we got along, if we could talk a lot, because that's a lot of it is. A lot of guys can do the X's and O's of the caddying, but do you get along? Can you spend that much time together? And it's honestly, it's like a relationship, so that was kind of what I was trying to see, and it was a really good time out there today, so.
Who's John on the bag?
He's caddying for Gerline Kaur.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he caddied for her at the Annika, and then she went back to Q school, got her card, and they got on pretty well at that week, and so she asked him to start. He did last week for me just because I didn't want to just give anybody TOC.
Yeah.
So if Terry wasn't going to do it, it was going to be him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of always the plan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yep.
That's great. You'll have to send that one too because it stopped recording. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I started texting.